Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Rose Tarot and Astrology. I am your host, Mel Rose, and today is Wednesday, October 9, 2024. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for tuning in and spending this time with me. And also thank you for checking in on your current regular astrology. As you know, as above, so below. If we can get an idea what kind of energies are at play on a universal level, well, we're part of the universe, so we know what energies are going to be at play in our own lives. And that can give us a little bit of a leg up on what to focus on or what to avoid or just what to expect coming up, right? It helps us navigate our way forward. So I sure am happy that you're here with me for that. And, I hope that wherever you are in the world today, you are feeling happy and well and loved and blessed and whole and supported. I know that right here in beautiful Lee Summit, Missouri, I am feeling very happy and well and loved and blessed and whole and supported. It's a beautiful day out there, 50 degrees, very sunny. We're going to have another gorgeous one. Okay, so before we get started, I just want to say, please like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave a comment down below. Say hello to me so that I can say hello to you back. Okay, getting into today's astrology. The sun is in Libra and the moon is in Capricorn. Libra is air and Capricorn is earth. So these two, they do work together, but maybe not as easily as like air and fire or earth and water do. Okay. So it might be a little bit of a challenge. The sun being in Libra means that we are seeking balance in our relationships with ourselves, with other people, with the things that we like, love, and can't get enough of. We're checking to see if we're giving as good as we get, if we're getting as good as we give. And we're having negotiations, conversations, making different plans so that we can bring balance to those situations. And because the South Node is in Libra and we just had that eclipse back there on the new moon, there's a lot of themes around things going out the back, letting things go, okay, releasing from our lives, stuff and things, thoughts, attitudes, and dispositions that no longer serve a purpose for us. And the moon is in Capricorn. Capricorn is that vibe where, we have work to do and we're just going to do it. We want to do something. We need mountains to climb and problems to solve, right? So the moon in Capricorn nearing the first quarter is really got us gearing up to make some effort to do some work, hopefully to achieve a goal or two in time for that full moon that's coming up next Thursday. So while we're letting things out the back, we are also working towards something greater at this time. So we're really looking at our trajectory forward and we're really working on it. There's a little bit of a signature here that says that the work we're doing has to do with the releasing that we're doing, putting things behind us, okay? So even if we're building something new or working towards something bigger and better, part of that is what we're letting go of. And we need to keep that in mind. And we'll talk about a couple of those signatures here coming up. Sun in Libra, moon in Capricorn. We are working toward those goals. We have a very steadfast vibe toward completing them, and I like that. Mercury is in Libra with the sun, and they had a Kazemi last week, so we had that moment of clarity. And Mercury will just be here for another 5 days until the 14th, and then it's gonna move on into Scorpio. So take advantage of this Mercury and Libra time. Mercury is not at home in Libra, but Mercury is about intellect and communication and collaboration, and so is Libra on a lot of levels. So it's a good time to, again, be communicating and collaborating toward the justice you seek, toward the balance that you seek, because the Sun and Mercury in the same sign in Libra, that's exactly what it's asking us to do. Venus is in Scorpio and Mars is in Cancer. And on yesterday, they had a trine. So we're still very much in this very gracious, optimistic, positive vibration of Venus and Mars working together almost on a heavenly level. Really, it's a kind of energy. The trine is a kind of energy where there's not much that you have to do except for allow the blessings to come in, allow the good things, recognize the good things, have gratitude for them, and allow them to come in for you. So this is a time in our relationships when we're able to take initiative, and we're also, because they're both in water signs, able to create closer bonds with the people that we are close to. Especially in our romantic relationships, we can build better cohesion with our partners. Okay, so that's a great vibe, and that's coming in from yesterday. Today, Jupiter goes retrograde, and Jupiter has been pulling a little bit of focus because when planets go retrograde or direct, they slow down and then appear to stop. From our perspective in the sky, they don't ever really slow down and stop, but it's just from our perspective. And they slow down and appear to stop, and that's when they seem to have the most power in our lives. So Jupiter is that larger planet. It's sort of between the inner planets and the outer planets. And what it does is it connects us to the greater world. It connects us to culture. You know, before that is just all personal stuff. And then what Jupiter does is it wants to expand positively our lives, our sense of what we can be, do, and have. So anytime we're thinking about what it is that we can, you know, how the bigger, better things that we can be, do, and have, Jupiter is active there, sort of, you know, putting in an equal amount of work to what we're putting in to the positive things, the positive growth that we want. And Jupiter is going to be retrograde through February. It's not one that we feel as intensely as like a Mercury or Venus or Mars retrograde because it's further out from us. But, you know, it does bring some good fortune at this time. It's a good time to do a gratitude ritual if you'd like to do that. And, you know, while Jupiter is retrograde, while we've got these things going on, Sun and Mercury at the South Node, letting things out the back, there's very much a vibe, like I said, of less is more. Like we're going to, you know, what we're getting rid of is creating room for us to have the bigger, better things, be, do, and have the bigger, better things that we seek for ourselves. So I think that's very positive. It's a very fortunate day. If you're feeling lucky today, go ahead and, you know, buy yourself a scratcher or, you know, ask that person out for coffee that you wanted to. It's a good day for that kind of thing. Coming up on Thursday, Venus is going to be at the apex of triangle situation with Jupiter and Chiron. And, you know, this is very optimistic. It's about our values. It's about what you like, love, and can't get enough of on a personal level. And this is making an adjustment to Jupiter's vibe of expansion and an adjustment to Chiron's vibe of healing, while Jupiter and Chiron are moving into this position together that brings healing and growth at the same time, cooperation between your desire for healing and the actual expansion that's happening in your life. Okay, so this is just, you know, we might find that what we thought we wanted, what we thought we liked, loved, and couldn't get enough of, maybe we have to change our mind about it a little bit. Okay, just make an adjustment about what it is you're trying to get out of a situation when you see the possibility that's available to you. And also on Thursday, we're going to have that waxing half moon, that first quarter moon in Capricorn. Okay, that's just tomorrow. And it's that time to get to work. Okay, so today we're right before that. It is time to be sort of like tying up those plans that you've been making the last minute communications, arrangements, reservations, that kind of thing. And then tomorrow we sort of get into gear and we push forward toward those goals, especially the ones that we want to have achieved by the full moon next Thursday. Then coming up on Friday this week, Pluto is going direct. So we have two big planets going retrograde or direct in the same week, just within days of each other. And that can be very impactful, okay? Because like I said, when Jupiter stands still, it pulls a lot of focus and it has a lot of power. It brings us greater luck, greater sense of expansion in our lives. Pluto going direct is the same thing. It moves very slowly anyway, but it has slowed to a stop, and it has been pulling out some transformations and changes for us, some revelations. Things are being revealed. Maybe secrets are coming to light, or things that we were previously unaware of. Think of it as sort of like digging up the old bones and finding out what's in that plot. So Pluto direct, things can come to light. And I just want you to be aware that, Pluto brings that transformation. So it's not always pleasant news. Okay. It's not always unpleasant news, but it's not always pleasant news. And it's usually very impactful. It impacts us on not just a conscious level, but on a subconscious level. So with Pluto going direct, the things that come up for you, especially when it comes to your personal life, or when it comes to like these major things that are happening in the world in terms of, conflict, especially, really go easy on yourself at this time, because it's not just like, oh, well, that terrible thing happened, la di da. It's really like, if you need to sit with something because you think it feels terrible, please take a moment and sit with it, and sort of get right with yourself about it, okay? Or just bring yourself to a place where you can understand and articulate how you feel about it. That day, Mercury is also making a move. Where am I? Friday. Mercury is going to be in an adjustment mode with Uranus. And so, like Pluto may bring about some sort of discovery or enlightenment about something. And then Pluto says, Mercury with Uranus says, yeah, and then our plans change and our conversations change a little bit with this new perspective we have. Coming up on Saturday, Jupiter is going to complete its sextile to Chiron. And this is kind of a big deal, Jupiter sextile to Chiron, because these are both outer planets, Jupiter being the closest one to our inner planets, Chiron being out there between Saturn and Uranus. And Jupiter, again, is about positive expansion of those bigger, better things we'd like to be, do, and have. Chiron is about the healing that we seek. And Chiron has been in Aries for many years. We'll still be in Aries for a couple of years. Talking about our childhood wounds, talking about, the times when we were left out or put on the spot or bullied or mistreated as children, and the healing that we seek to get to from that, right? We all have adverse experiences in our lives, some of us more than others. And, this is about healing from those adverse experiences of the past. And with Jupiter in this cooperative mode with Chiron, that's healing and expansion. That's healing and growth. That's, leaving something behind, chucking off the old defensiveness about something. And with that ability to let go, being able to pull yourself toward that bigger, better something that you imagine for yourself. So this is a vibe that is going to stick with us through the 2nd of January. It is very positive. It is very optimistic, and it is very much a time to be looking inward and looking into your own sense of healing and looking into what you can let go of, because when you let go, you make room for the bigger, better things. Okay. And that's really optimistic for me, and I'm really happy that it's happening like through the end of the year, and it's going to bring us into the new year. So the new year is going to look totally different for us, friends. Okay, by the time we get there, things will have changed somewhat. And then coming up on Saturday, Jupiter, like I said, sextile Chiron. That's a big shift toward optimism. And then Mercury is going to make an adjustment to Neptune, which tells me there's some plans or communications changing for creative reasons. So whereas the day before we had plans changing with a new perspective, now we have plans changing for creative reasons. It sounds to me like we're not going to be able to nail down any plans on Friday or Saturday. It might have to come out a little bit later, or, the next week. Okay. Sunday, Mercury is going to square to Pluto. So there's Mercury having another aspect with communication hiccups and with perhaps, more secrets or previously unknown things coming to light. And so again, hard to sort of nail down what your plan is going to be. If you have plans that are in fluctuation, allow them to be in fluctuation for a while. Okay, just give yourself some time for information to settle so that you can make the plan. And I'm not saying this is about all of your plans. I'm just saying, something might come up that changes a plan or changes your perspective on things and makes you want to plan differently. Okay. And there are going to be a few days coming up here where, you may be trying to plan, you may be in communications and negotiations about things, which is good, but it might be hard to sort of like pin down a final plan on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Mercury also moves on into Scorpio. Okay, so this is going to be the time to really get questioning. That's on Sunday. Mercury moves into Scorpio, and it's a time to really think about what's behind and underneath things. It's time to dig a little deeper. Okay, ask the questions. Really try to get down to the depth, the coolest, stillest part, the part that you can't see from the surface, right? So that you have all the information that you need. Like if new things are coming to light, and if you're having discoveries, and you're being secrets are coming out, or things like that, then you want to go do a deep dive and make sure you have all of the information again before you try to settle your plan. Also that day, Mars and the Sun and Chiron are in a T square. That's a little bit of conflict on the healing path. There's a little bit of a tension of opposites between the Sun and Chiron that day, and Mars is at the apex of that triangle, saying, you're going to have to do some work. You're going to have to take a very assertive and progressive attitude to make the moves toward healing that you want, and also to get the work done when it comes to your sense of purpose in the world that you need to do. Okay, it's going to take a little bit of extra work, and even a little bit of extra work because Mars is in Cancer. And like I say, Mars likes to go direct. Cancer likes to go sideways. So Mars is not always getting, straight to where it wants to go. It sometimes has to like take a couple steps over before it makes progress again, or we need to, take a step back and move around so that we can make the progress that we want. It needs to be a little bit more strategic. Okay, so we're strategizing come Saturday and Sunday. Next Monday, the Sun is going to square Mars completely. That started on Sunday, but the completion of the Sun square to Mars is on Monday. That can bring some agitation, some frustration, a little bit of fire into the question, although we're talking about planets that are in air and water right now. So it might be hard to get the fire going. It might be kind of a question of, are you going to let this thing that's happening stop you from making the progress that you want, right? And so it's a little bump to get over. And also on that day, Venus is going to be in opposition to Uranus. So, to me, what that tells me is that I like to say this, people will surprise you, okay? And sometimes it's like, yay, surprise, but sometimes it's a little bit more like oh, that was a surprise, okay? So please be aware coming up on Monday that there might be some surprises. They might not necessarily be very fun, and it has to do with the things and people that you like, love, and can't get enough of. Okay, so understand that. And then Tuesday, Venus is going to trine Neptune, very positive, delightful kind of vibe. And then next Thursday, and that's as far as I'm going, friends. Next Thursday, the full moon is in Aries. This is going to be about the value of self-discovery. And also on that day, Venus moves on into Sagittarius. So our little hearts grow adventurous wings. And, we want to see what more is out there. Not necessarily in terms of our romantic lives or anything like that, but what we want becomes more exploratory. We start thinking more about like what more we might like for ourselves. It's again, that Jupiter influence, the bigger, better things that we'd like to have. So we've been letting go of a lot of stuff and putting a lot of stuff behind us so that we could make room for advancement, make room for nicer stuff, make room for, a bigger idea of who we are in the world. And and soon we're going to start being able to start like building on that. Okay. So that is the astrology for the coming week, starting today, Wednesday, and going through next Thursday, which is the full moon. I wanted to include that. And it's a lot of information, friends. Okay. So if you have any questions, leave a comment down below. I will be happy to see it and answer it. And if you ever want to reach out to me personally, my email address is astrologytoday@gmail.com. Okay, I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for being here. I've taken enough of your time today, so I'm going to say goodbye, and I'll be back on Friday to touch base with you about these things again. Okay, bye-bye. Mwah. Thank you.